So thank you everyone for joining us. We do appreciate that you spending your time. This is a topic that we've been discussing for a while now on Facebook and on all our social media platforms. We are welcoming you all. The SaGG Foundation, which is sponsor Gambian Girl. What we do is empowering girls through education. And we believe that education is the only means that can give girls a life of freedom, independence, and just open the world for them to have possibilities. We thank you that you're joining us today. And the program that we'll be discussing is about breaking the myths of girl-child education. You know, we've all had those things that are passed around since we've been children, growing up. We've been hearing what they're saying about girls' education. So we have ladies here today that would help us just to demystify those myths and say, listen, these things are not correct, and these are the reasons why. Fatou Badjie first. We have two Fatou.
Thank you. We have two Fatus indeed. Yeah, thank you very much, Annetta, and thank you for the invitation. I am indeed very much honored to be here. Girls' education, as you said, is very, very important. They always say when you educate a girl, you educate a nation. And we're here, as you said, to talk about the myths around girls' education. What are some of the barriers that are stopping girls from reaching that glass ceiling, basically? So I am Fatou Badjie. I'm a feminist. I'm a social justice activist. I currently work as a women's service coordinator here in Oxford, United Kingdom, with a therapeutic organization that supports refugees and asylum seekers and vulnerable migrants. So I'm very, very passionate about women's rights. I think by now a lot of you or some of you may have come across my videos and activism. So I'm very much pleased to share a panel with my sister Fatou Balde MBE and Musu. They're both phenomenal women, and yourself, Annetta. So I look forward to a fruitful conversation. Hopefully by the end of this discussion, we would be able to debunk the myths and also strengthen the opportunities of girls and think positively about their development. So thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Fatou. That's amazing. And thanks for that. And we just pass it on to Fatou Balde.
Thank you, Annetta. My name is Fatou Balde MBE. I am the founder of Women in Liberation and Leadership, WIL. We are a women-led organization that focuses on supporting women and girls who experience sexual and gender-based violence and advocating against violence against women in general. I am really pleased to be here. I think this is a conversation that we should be regularly having. It's funny how in the Gambia, especially when we speak to government officials, when we speak internationally, we say that we've attained universal education of girls in the Gambia. Unfortunately, those statistics are taken from an enrollment level, like when girls enroll. But in reality, how many of those girls who enroll actually complete primary school? How many of these go on to secondary school? Those are all issues that we need to really look into. We all know, as the saying goes, Fatou has already mentioned that, but when we educate girls, we empower not just the girl, we empower the community, we empower the whole country as well. So I am really pleased to share this panel with all you amazing women that I very much look up to, and I'm looking forward to a very interesting conversation today.
Thank you so much, Fatou MBE, Fatou Balde. It's amazing. Thank you for that. And now we have Musu has joined us.
I'm really, really excited to be here. My name is Musu Bakoto Sawo, and I'm the National Coordinator for Think Young Women. I'm also the Deputy Executive Secretary of the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparations Commission. Education is the most important thing, and quality education for that matter is a way, it's a strategy of, disempowering them. It's a strategy of ensuring that they lose that power that they may have, which education grants them. And I feel that is the reason why all these myths exist when it comes to girls and women accessing education, and not just any type of education, but quality education for that matter. I'm excited and happy to be on the same panel with some of the most amazing ladies, and I look forward to having more conversations on the issue. Thank you.
Amazing to be here with you all. My name is Annetta, and sometimes people do confuse it, but I am a Gambian girl, from Banjul, and I've always had a connection with education one way or another. I first started as a teacher in Marina International School, and then a teacher at SaGG. I abandoned teaching when I came to the UK, but you'll soon see me back in the classroom. And since then, I've always been passionate about, girls being in school, and education is the only way for girls out. I totally 100% believe in that. I do not see any other solution apart from educating them. That's why I'm here today doing what I'm doing. And I'm thankful that you ladies have joined me today. So everyone that's watching, we thank you that you're watching us. So we will be talking about breaking the myths of girl-child education. What are those traditional beliefs? What are those things that keep flying around that, we keep shoving them off, but they're still there in the space? That's what we want to talk about today. And those myths, how we can break them and, bring on the facts and show what it is that education really does for a girl. And we shouldn't even be having this conversation, but sadly we are having the conversation because we should have moved on as a society. So we'll be talking about that, and we'll really appreciate it if you could kindly, comment and send us the myths that we might not be discussing that you may have heard and we haven't, so you can join them in the conversation. So we just put up now, ladies. We've been hearing this word myth. In your own understanding, what do you think that term is, myth? What do you think it is? And the reason why we're discussing it about today.
It is a way that all the myths, all the things that we hear that deter people, that scare communities or people to send their daughters to school, especially, are just ways to continue oppressing and denying women and girls their rights. I think it's that fear of when women are educated, then they have more knowledge and they have a way of negotiating power. They have a way of negotiating when they're in certain situations. And I think for a lot of being a patriarchal society, for a lot of our people, is that fear that when we educate girls, when they know their rights, then they will come back and challenge us. So, and it is, as Musu said, one of the ways to continue to put women down, to oppress us. And for me, that is my overall understanding. That is how I would define a myth in relation to education.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Fatou, for that. Something that I will pick from what you said is I've been questioning it myself, which is, when you educate girls, it's very difficult to control. I've been wondering, what is this need for society to control girls? What it is, why is it that we have to be controlled? Can't we just be left to, be the owners of our own lives and do what we want to do? So this thing that education leads to naughtiness, leads to girls being promiscuous and all these things. These are ones of the myths that we want to debunk. Formal education has nothing whatsoever to contribute towards girls being naughty or being promiscuous. So that's something that we have to debunk and just remove it from the get-go. But anyway, we'll go on to Fatou Badjie just to give us her own understanding of what she means, what she knows by the meaning of the term myths, especially in this context that we are discussing it.
And like you said, it has survived through the test of time. So it's been passed on generation from generation to generation. And the reason is to control girls. In the context of education, really, is to control girls. And why are we controlling girls? You asked an important question, is to strengthen the patriarchal societal order. you know, patriarchy is like a cancer, you know, it's like a sickness, and men often, the people, they are the people who create these myths, and because they want to strengthen the status quo. This is what they're used to controlling power. You know, they used to be the head of society, the head of families, and for them, shaking that is threatening, you know. So they need to find ways and strategies of keeping that status quo. So that is why these things came up. I remember when I was young, I used to hear that a pregnant woman should not have a bath at night, because when you do, you would have a disabled child, or you will have a child who is who would have birth defects. You know, those are not true. But you know, because when a woman's given birth and they have a child who's got health deficiency, then they connect those two dots. They basically say, see, I told you, you shouldn't, this person shouldn't be having shower in the night. When you come to the issue of FGM, they'll tell you the clitoris grows. When you don't cut that clitoris, it grows. There is no evidence really to back those things, but you would see that it went through the test of time. You know, it's been passed on generations and generations and generations, so that we would as a society begin to believe that this is true, when in actual essence, no one would bring you an evidence to show, to support that perception or belief or claim, whatever we want to call it. So really, for me, yes, it's true. It's about controlling women. It's a false narrative or stories that we create out of nowhere, so that we men, or the patriarchal society is in place, is steady, and is safe. For me, that's what it is. Thank you.
So basically, the need for control is just to carry on what we've always had from generations to generations, and just strengthening that male dominance that we have in society, and making it very difficult for women to break through, and girls as well, you know, to own their own in this world. And one of the ways that we are showing that we can break this myth is just to champion girls' education, champion that every girl should be in school, champion for the rights of every girl. And that is very important. Thank you so much. And
it's basically untold narratives that are not founded on any facts or merits, in order to restrict a certain behavior or practice. And in the context of girls' education, of course, it is one of the reasons why we have patriarchy reinforced. But this is not just men related, but also women. We've seen there are a lot of women who are the enforcers of patriarchy. It's perhaps about the education and how society has already made women to believe that this is the specific norm. You can't go beyond that. When you do that, then you are sort of like going against culture and tradition. And that is why I believe girls' education has been a problem, because they do not want there to be that change of breakage in the chain of causation, which is going to result to girls and women feeling more empowered and knowing more about their rights and breaking that culture. Because they do not want that to happen, because they want to preserve those negative cultures so badly, they would do everything that they can to restrict girls from attaining their best or fullest potentials. I think that is the problem.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Just what Musu has said there, it's like when I was thinking about this topic, and what came to my head, I was mostly focusing on that the other gender is the one that is perpetuating this myth. And now it just brings on another perspective that women as well, you know, have a part to play. We don't only have to fight patriarchy itself, we're fighting our own selves as well. It's like a double-edged sword here. So which of the areas do we tackle, and which one do we ignore? If women are saying what they're saying right now, and we have the reinforced one that society has always, stand on, that, it's a male-dominated area, men are in charge, men are everything, and women are reinforcing it, then it means that we are fighting a losing battle. But I'm not going to give up. I think even the little that we are doing, in a sense, we are making a change, and we are doing a breakthrough. The worst that can be done is just saying, oh yeah, that's the norm, let's just go with it. I think that would be the wrong approach to take.